necessarily believe that it's like happening. So I give it a couple of seconds. I stare at things. I wait, and then I think we've got 13 seconds on the clock. So now we can go. A new mixing board, so making sure that everything looks like it should. I think we're good. What am I doing here? There we go. How come I don't hear anything? Do I hear it? Yeah, I hear it. Do you hear it? Little music to get it going. This is a pre-programmed thing. It's kind of good. It gets to be louder. Yeah, I like it. So, getting all my notifications that everybody on the planet is starting to tune in and see. Good morning, everybody. It's Sean Shapiro, and it's that time for a FriYAY celebration. It is the 18th of November. It's FriYAY, and it's Mickey Mouse's birthday. Mickey Mouse's birthday, and can I press this button? Yeah, Mickey Mouse's birthday. That's actually a pretty good applause track. Mickey Mouse's birthday, it's another very special day. It's my anniversary. So happy anniversary to my lovely wife. It has been a very, it hasn't been a long time, has it? It doesn't feel like forever for you, does it? I hope. Anyway, Jacob says, morning. He just got back from the gym and he's feeling good. Apparently there's a lot of snow where he is. And there's not a lot of snow where I am, so I feel bad for you. Well, you don't have to shovel, do you? I hope you don't have to shovel. All right, this is Ask a Traffic Cop. My name is Sean Shapiro. I am a police constable with the Toronto Police Service, and I go live on social media to answer your traffic and police questions. It's what I do Monday to Friday from 10 to 11. It's a fun thing. Someone's got a wheelbarrow they're going through the hallway with. Wonder what they're delivering. No, whatever it is not sharing it with me. We are going to talk about traffic safety and police stuff. It's what we do. It's a show that's all about you. You actually get to ask the questions. We get to answer them. If you are watching on, well, let's go through them, because many of you, about 300 of you, are currently on TikTok, and that is awesome because we love TikTok. But if you're somewhere else, like YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, even Twitter, Instagram Live, hello, how are you? If you are on any one of those platforms, know that you can ask questions and we'll see them and we'll answer. If you're using Q&A functionality of TikTok or Instagram, that's the best place to go. If you're using it anywhere else, it works except Twitter. Twitter just doesn't work. It hasn't worked in months. We don't see your questions, so hop over to one of our other platforms and join us so you can jump into the conversations. We have Q&A questions popping in, and I see someone says, why are the cops on strike? We're not on strike. We don't strike. Audio is rough. Interesting. I wonder what's going on with the audio, why it's not working. Oh, audio is non-existent right now. Hang on a second. Hang on. Do we lose audio? No, we got no audio. Stand by. Not sure what's going on. We lost audio for TikTok only. Okay, I have a problem. And we actually lost everything for TikTok. What is happening? Can you hear me now? No, we're not getting any audio there. This should be the blue one, the purple one. No, that's this one. No, there. No, no. What's going on? All right, we have problems. Let me stand by. Disconnect. Is it coming back? No. Oh, actually, it's not playing. So let's see if it's any better. Hopefully this is better. Nothing like having a FriYAY with technical difficulties. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Please let me know. Audio is fine for me. Okay, good. So yes. So we figured this out yesterday when I played back the live, is that there is a slight delay with using Bluetooth. So I might be out of sync. And if so, this will be the last time we use Bluetooth for the live stream. But it was nice while it lasted. Apparently, the sound quality is not bad, but it has a slight delay. All right, we're going to keep going, and we'll fix this another day because I need a USB-C to lightning cable to make this work. And then we lose the ability to take it. Anyway, there's goods in there. Actually, I do have a workaround. Should we do the workaround? Maybe we do the workaround. No, nope, the workaround's not going to work. Oh, well. We either say goodbye, and maybe we'll do that. Instagram is working. If it gets to be terrible, we'll do a switch. We'll switch a cable and we'll make it work. Yeah, we could do that. Do we do it right now? Right now. a sec. Okay. We are going to use this. Let's see if we can make it better. Okay, hopefully this it made the audio better. Let me know if it did. I like it when it works just right. I don't like it when it don't. All right, let me know if that improved the audio. Hopefully it did. Okay, it's good. We've got Boots saying it's good. That's worse? Come on. With the lag is worse or the audio is worse? What's wrong? Yes, I didn't expect the first 10 minutes of the show to be technical stuff. Worse. Everyone's saying it's worse. Well, that's not good. Is it too low or is it too high? Low. No lag. Audio is fine. Getting mixed messages here. Audio is weird, but we still hear you. Audio is clipping. Okay, maybe it's too loud. Let's do this. We'll back it off. And we'll try this. It's not volume. No good. Lots of distortion. Okay, hang on. We're going to try this again. Can't hear you. Audio is grainy. It could be a TikTok issue. Yes, it's good. Better. There is a lag, so it takes about 10, 15 seconds. Audio, okay. Audio is perfect now. We're not touching anything else. Back to business. If there is something we can do, okay, Cody says it's perfect. It's not TikTok, it's your end. It's fixed. Okay, we're not touching nothing. And for the folks that are on the Instagram-y stuff, you are getting audio over the air. There's no microphone connected. You're just getting the iPhone audio. But there's not a lot of you here, so we're doing okay. We're not offending a lot of people. We're only offending a few. Anyway, let's move on with the show. This is Ask a Traffic Cop, and because we've been fiddling with wires for the last 5 minutes, you may not know who I am. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service, and I go live on social media to answer your traffic and police questions. It's what we do. We want to dispel myths and rumors. We want to get you the information you need to make the roads safer for you. How do we make the roads safer? We change behavior. The roads don't change. You change. And we want you to be safe. We want you to get to where you're going safely every day. We want you to save money by not getting charged for tickets and offenses and things that you didn't know or understand. We help you understand, so it's not an issue. Let's get into the first thing before we move into your Q&A questions. It is the 18th of November. I've already covered the fact that it is my anniversary and Mickey Mouse's birthday, which was totally unplanned, but did work out to our benefit because we're big fans of Disney. It is the day where Vision Zero is spending. We have Vision Zero. Does anybody know what Vision Zero is? A team of dedicated officers that change driver behavior one ticket at a time, going to different areas of the city every single day to focus on the drivers who choose to break the law. They are looking for people who are breaking the law in a very specific way. The big four: people who speed, people who drive aggressively, people who drive distracted, and those who choose to be impaired while driving. That is a big thing. We're going to talk a lot about impaired driving because we're in the season. Now, every season is ride season. We conduct investigations for impaired operation every single day of the week. We arrest people all the time, but we tend to talk about it on the holiday season. We even call it holiday ride because there tends to be a lot of partying and gathering and socializing. So it's a good time to remind everybody. We want to keep everyone safe, and we want to avoid tragedy. And that's what happens when you mix alcohol or drugs with driving. Just tragedy. You may have noticed some buses in the city of Toronto. There are 10 different posters on, I think, 20-some-odd buses in the city, and each one of them has the face and name of a victim who was involved in an alcohol-related crash. Sadly, they are, as far as I know, all people who have died as a result of those collisions. So you're going to hear a lot about impaired driving from me. And one thing that I jumped off topic on, Vision Zero enforcement team today are in 32 Division and 42 Division. That's Downsview, Willowdale, Newtonbrook, Bathurst Manor, Malvern, Agincourt, Milliken, Rouge, the Scarborough area. That's not the only place they're going to be, but that's where they're focused today. I need some of my recently brewed coffee. Not from Tim Hortons, just using a Tim Hortons cup. Extremely hot. All right. Cool. Liz says I'm good on Facebook and I'm good on YouTube. Happy, joy. How do I get my girlfriend to stop speeding? I don't know how other than telling people what the consequences are, maybe telling her that you love her and you want her to survive, and we know that speed kills, and also insurance rates go up. So maybe say you're not going to take it to the next level unless she keeps a low or good driving score. I don't know. You don't want to invest in someone who's going to cost you a lot of money in insurance. And I say that as a family unit. Your driving record, will cause both of your insurance to go up. So I didn't do a driving license check on my wife before we got married, mostly because she didn't have a driver's license. But anyway. Good blessed FriYAY morning, everyone. That's coming from Neon. He's a mechanic and a friend of the show, and someone we haven't heard from in a while. So good to hear from you. What do you consider an inspiration in your career? So many. I don't know. So many things to talk about that inspired me, from family members who were in the policing profession, from the FBI to local police. My grandfather was in the military, that do the right thing kind of attitude that I grew up in. And then watching Chips, which is by far the best television show ever created, now or ever. Wish it came back. Poncherello, come on. He was the reason for so many police officers to put a uniform on, to join up. And if you are interested in joining up, becoming a police officer, committing yourself to a life of service to your community, well, have I got an opportunity for you? We're hiring. If you go to www.tps.ca/careers, you can go and get information about all sorts of jobs within the Toronto Police, but we're specifically looking for police officers right now. And I've been told by Amit Kumar, who's a recruiter, that the event that's taking place, the Ontario Police Services Recruiting Fair, is actually reopened. They are taking bookings again. It was originally closed after the 16th. It is now reopened, and that is going to be. Oh, hang on! I got to tell Sergeant Campbell. We only have right now two headphones in, because it's a different adapter on this box. So I've got we're down one. Oh, yeah, because I've only got two mics set up right now. Sorry, it's not personal. Sure, I have no credibility anymore. Sergeant Kulik was going to join the show too this morning, but we got a new device and I don't have enough microphones and headphones. What's this? You don't want to blow your eardrums out? Oh my goodness. Okay.
Hello, Sean.
Hello, Sarge.
I got 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Well, we'll take advantage of those 10 minutes.
All right.
Well, we were talking about inspirations in careers, in the career to become a police officer career, and I was talking about the fact that on the 26th of November there is an Ontario Police Services Recruiting Fair, and it's something you got to book to go. You got to book in advance. They closed the applications to book. It's being reopened. I understand it's only reopened for this weekend. So check it out: www.tps.ca/careers.
Toronto Police College, I believe that is, and multiple service agencies are going to be there.
Truly across the province. Stephen says, hi, good morning. How are you today? I'm doing well, thank you. Can I drive with no seatbelt if seatbelt don't work? No. It's not. You don't get an out because it's not functioning. You're responsible for maintaining the good working order of your vehicle. You could be charged for not wearing it.
In fact, you could be charged with 2 offenses.
Yes.
Seatbelt inoperative and failing to wear the seatbelt. Complete seatbelt.
And I wonder if there's another. Is there another charge? Is there another additional charge for not maintaining your vehicle?
There's one specifically for seatbelt.
So that would be the most.
Maintaining your seatbelt. So.
Okay. Armani wants to see you twerk.
Me? Oh, goodness, no. Nobody wants to see me twerk.
Oh, my goodness. That's a FriYAY thing forever. Laws on low cars. Well, it's not a low car law. It's a safe vehicle law or an unsafe vehicle law. You can't have a vehicle so low as that it's unsafe, that there's contact with the body and frame, tire and frame, wheel and frame, tire and body, and so on. So there's a number of things at play to ensure that it's safe. So if you can't turn lock to lock and be free of contact, that's a problem. Additionally, based on the light truck and personal, what am I thinking of? Light truck and something vehicle. I've lost a word. It happens once in a while. There's a minimum and a maximum ride height for center of your headlights to the ground. That was something that was news to me. I just found out about it from the MTO not too long ago. So it could be that you lower it too much and you're now unsafe for the road for that reason, just based on low, even if you don't make contact. So there's a couple of things going on.
You know what, Sean? They make cars that are low already.
Buy one of those.
Supercars, they're very low, but they're made to manufacturer specifications so that they comply. If you're taking a normal car that has a different ride height and modifying it, that's where the problems come.
Yeah, when you start bending things to fit, it is an issue. And there are people who make custom rides that are designed and modified in such a way that they accommodate the new geometry of the suspension system, and it still works. But it has to be done professionally. Some people just chop springs and bad things happen. Oh, my wife! I don't know if my wife is now watching. I don't know if she caught the whole happy anniversary thing from earlier. So, if you missed it, I actually acknowledge the fact that today's our anniversary. And we have Chase who says left a voice volley. Okay, we'll check it out in a second. Besides YouTube, okay, we got confirmations. And Big Jeff Fresh says, "Good morning, good afternoon, hello everyone." I guess he's using markings to suggest that whatever he posts, it's a cut and paste. Let's see what Chase has got to say. Is it working?
I want to go back.
Oh, let me
something you
rewind.
say often, you say, Sean. So first of all, happy anniversary, Sean. I just want to go back to something you say often. You say that the stunt driving laws were changed most likely because of all the takeover events. But if you ever watch any of the takeover events, wouldn't you want every single one of them to be charged with dangerous operation? Like, you wouldn't charge them with just basic stunts. So what was like the whole reason for changing it?
You make you have a very interesting question. And by the way, that question came in by Volley. If you want to send me a voice or video message and get played on the show, you can do that by going to the Linktree link in our bio. There's a button in the Linktree that says "Ask me a question on Volley." If you go in there, we can actually get your stuff. So, to answer your question, dangerous driving is a criminal charge, and it is a test that must be met, and it has very specific things that have to be met. Specifically, people being put in harm's way. The stunt driving laws is a lesser offense that covers it for the most part. It's a good one. Now, we could have always laid the charge of dangerous, but would we have got the convictions? Would it have been the most appropriate? Would it have been seen as heavy-handed if it wasn't, the appropriate charge for the activity? This was a way for the province to respond. Sarge, would you add something to that?
You know what, Sean? You're exactly bang on. We don't go out there just to charge people, and we don't try and charge people with the most fines or the most anything. We lay what is appropriate, and it all depends on the situation. Maybe one or two people within those takeover events are eligible for a dangerous drive charge. Would all of them? No. Are they all being dangerous? Probably. I would reckon it to the charge of murder. There's a first degree, there's a second degree, and there's a manslaughter. We lay the one that is most appropriate for all the circumstances and the evidence that we can gather. So,
yeah, and then additionally, the changes that were made to include private property, to include more or longer impounds, longer suspensions, that came into play, and the province was pretty clear about it. People were playing games and getting out of their charges, and they weren't seeing an impact when it was only after conviction. Well, there was sufficient evidence at the side of the road to lay that charge to give you an immediate consequence. So they went with that. And then you get additional consequences in court because they want to dissuade people from doing it, not just simply playing games and stalling the court and never really seeing that consequence. So they do it immediately. Sean Chen says, "Good morning." And Chase wants to know if you can get a dangerous driving charge on a bicycle. I don't think so. But let's see. Dangerous operation.
I believe it is a motor vehicle, any type of motor vehicle.
It actually says, everyone commits an offense who operates a conveyance in a manner that, having regard to all the circumstances, is dangerous to the public.
So, and as we know, case law has shown that a conveyance can be pretty much anything. There was a conviction for an impaired causing death of a person operating a canoe, muscular powered.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. So a bicycle is a conveyance.
It is.
So
skateboard is a conveyance.
I would then say that, Chase, you could be charged for criminal dangerous operation if you were riding a bicycle. Now, has it happened? Has it been tested in court? I would say no, or it's unlikely. It's certainly not something that I'm aware of. But is it possible? Yeah. Yeah, it is. We have...
Once again, Sean, the appropriate charge for the appropriate circumstance.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you were to take a bicycle and ride it down a hill at speed and ram into a group of people intentionally and cause harm, bodily harm, could that, maybe loss of life, is that dangerous operation? I think that would qualify. You're doing it with the intention.
Yep.
Because intent's a big thing with criminal.
Yep, and multiple charges could go on that type of scenario. An assault with a weapon, assault bodily harm, using your bicycle as a means to hurt somebody. Yeah,
Absolutely. Thing called magnet leaf can hide plate by remote. Oh, I saw a video about this. So it's actually, you know, aside from the fact that you're using it to obstruct the license plate, it's an electromagnetic leaf. Looks like a leaf, but it's magnetically adheres to your license plate until you hit a remote control, and it disables the remote, the lock, and it falls off. So you obstruct your plate temporarily, but it looks like a leaf.
which you think you might have an excuse should you get caught.
Well, I think the idea is that if you're driving and the leaf is there and you press the button, it blows away. There's no evidence. You just, you know, have a disposable leaf. I mean, the things, the lengths that people go to avoid detection or make something that somebody will buy, I don't know. I don't think it's something worthy of doing it. Of course, you are technically, well, not just technically, you're absolutely breaking the law when you're obscuring your plate. It's all a matter of getting caught. I'm going to now pull over everyone with a leaf, and then try and get it for evidence, because I imagine it's got some weight to it if it's an electromagnet. And I wonder if the batteries last. How long do you have to charge your electromagnetic leaf? Oh, the joys.
I would imagine there'd be a magnet behind your plate.
Oh, running on power, and it's just
And
a piece of
then-
metal.
And then, yeah, there'd be something holding the leaf on it.
It's an aluminum plate, so I don't think it's magnetic.
No, they're not really aluminum anymore.
They're not?
Yeah.
How old do I need to be to sit on the front seat? Well, here's the thing. There's actually no legal requirement. You have to be in a child restraint to be legal if you're required to be in child restraint. If you're old enough to be out of the child restraint or meet one of the 3 requirements of being 8 years old, 80 pounds, or 4'9", you could be in the front seat. It's just not the best place for you. So we wouldn't write you a ticket. However, we would urge people to remain in the back seat until they're at least 14 years old, and that's for your protection. That's what the doctory people say is appropriate. But can we charge you, or will you get in trouble? No. Is there a deadline for you to pay a red light ticket? I believe the ticket. I've never seen one of the tickets laid by the city for the red light laws, or red light camera tickets. But I understand it's the same. You have 15 days to respond.
Yeah, I think that's written in the Provincial Offences Act for a Part 1.
It would be which? 15 days?
I think it's 15 days to respond.
Okay. I just got a message saying that. Okay, I've got someone in the lobby who's here to see me. I'm just going to respond to him very quickly. Just live streaming. It's always when I'm live streaming. Just live streaming.
And I have to jump off.
That's no fun.
I do have a meeting in 6 minutes that I have to be on, so you never know. You may get Sergeant Kulik on here as well.
There you go. You know, and that would be. I really feel bad. I got one extra headset out, and yeah. So there you go. And so just if you don't respond to that red light ticket, it is considered to be you don't dispute it, at which point you're just found guilty for not responding, and you're then tacked on with the fine and expected to pay, or you can't renew your license. So that's another thing.
And just a reminder, even though you don't have to put a sticker on your car,
You have to renew your
you
plates.
do have to renew it. And you
Yes.
would not be eligible to renew it, even online, if you have outstanding fees.
So to renew and pay your fines or pay your bills. And if you're going to dispute it, but don't let it just sit there. We've got a question about loud cars and the laws surrounding them. So the deal is that you have to have a functioning muffler, an exhaust system that works. It cannot create unnecessary noise, otherwise you are looking for a charge under the Highway Traffic Act for unnecessary noise. But there you go. That's the big thing. What am I looking for? What's being picked up? I'm not even remembering what the story is. Do I have a trade thing for him? All right. When I see Steve in a second, I will be able to answer his question when he comes here. I'll have to pause you for a moment when I jump off camera to chat with a gentleman who's come to see me. Timing is just never works in our favor, is it? Random visits. No, Steve's awesome. He has a keyboard for me. I know what he's picking up. He's picking up something for my locker. Okay, I got it. I figured it out. Can you be charged if leaves fly away and no proof? Oh, we're still talking about how do you get, if we have no proof, we can't lay a charge. If we don't know that you have an electromagnetic leaf, I can't see someone laying the charge. But it is interesting. I'm glad you brought it up so I can now tell all of my colleagues about the electromagnetic leaf. Actually, I already did because I have the video saved. Why some traffic lights take so long to turn green? I have no idea. There's a cycle. They're set up, and for whatever reason, they have a cycle. Some are set by sensor, but I don't know the inner workings of the timing, criteria. What do we got here? We got lots of questions about leaves. Can you use plexiglass as a windshield? I don't think you'd want to. Legally, I don't think you can, but I don't think you'd want to anyway. On impact, glass needs to break. I think plexiglass would break in such a way that you could be really injured, and you need to be able to get in. It might be the entry point. So I'm going to say no. That's a guess. You'd need to check with a mechanic, but I think there's requirements for safety glass. Okay. Can you drive with your leg out the window? Aside from it being absolutely insane, because we've seen people lose limbs, we've seen, in the event of a collision, you would lose that leg. You might even lose it without a collision, just leg making contact with something. Bad idea. Is it illegal? There's no leg out the window law. Could it be careless? Could it be, there's a bunch of things that come to mind that could be. I don't know. I would find a way to lay the charge, though. So don't do it. It's just a bad idea. At very least, I'd stop you to tell you not to do it. But I believe that there's a charge there. Because it could be improper wearing of seatbelt, because if you were to be involved in a hard braking situation, you could actually slide out from underneath the side seatbelt. I've seen it with both legs up. Let's see here. Oh. Okay. I'm going to see. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm navigating multi-things here. Let them know to call me. How do I get someone to come get you? I'm stuck. Yes, you have ID, right? Sorry, guys. This doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it really is uncomfortable. What are the laws on colored lights that don't flash? You mean like markers? What colors do you want? Because amber lights, marker lights, isn't really a big deal. But you need to have, you cannot project headlights, projector bulbs forward that are anything other than white or yellow. And depending on who you talk to, you certainly can't project, you can't project red to the front. But some people say, well, a marker light is projecting. And I think we disagree on some things. Interpretation is a big thing. But if you put red on the front, expect that someone's going to pull you over, and their interpretation might be that you can't have it, at which point you'll have to go to court. It's not worth it. Don't add lights you don't need. Amber lights, however, you can have. Can someone get a ticket if fuel got empty? Fuel gets empty all the time. If you don't pay attention to how much is in there, you do run empty and then the car no go. But I've never heard of a ticket being issued for someone running out of gas. I have been getting a lot of questions about it, so I don't know what the context, I don't know why this is coming up all the time. Can you be charged for not having your taillights on? Yeah, it's improper. You have to legally have your nighttime lighting system on to show the vehicle as being on the road. And I can't tell you how many times, and I keep talking about the fact that I need to make a video on this. It is uncanny as to how many people don't know how to turn on a headlight. Yesterday, driving home from the Chiefs Gala, I saw a half dozen cars with no taillights. The brake lights came on when they applied the brakes, but they were driving around on their daytime running lights, which are low-powered high beams. They're inappropriate. So I would charge someone for both improper headlights and improper taillights. They weren't on. But yeah, people, please turn it on. How old am I? Well, actually, the question is, how old are you? Why do you want to know? I'm old. Guess. I don't know. Someone actually, Steve Ryan from CP24 yesterday said, I wasn't old enough to remember Romper Room as a kid. Now, I Googled, and when I Googled, okay. I gotta. So I'll finish the story and I'll put you on hold for 1 second. I'll put you on hold by just walking away from the camera because I've got someone here who needs to grab something from me. But the Romper Room came out in the 50s. I was not old enough to where I was not around to watch Romper Room then, but I was around to watch it in the 70s. So with that, I will be right back. I apologize for the delay. What can I do here? Can I have someone jump around and like do a dance? No, we don't do dancing here. Okay, stand by. I'll be right back. I need to unlock a door and give somebody a thing. Oh my goodness. Hello. I'm right here. I jumped off the camera for a second. I have to give you a keyboard and I locked away. So I told everybody I was abandoning the camera for a second. Where did I put it? Here it is. I was hoping for it, but that's okay. I got to jump back on. I'm live streaming to a few thousand people.
You got your casters.
Yes, they did come. Thank you very much. I have a keyboard. This is exciting. I have a keyboard. All right. Thank you for your patience, everyone. Okay. No one noticed that, right? Kyle Hawking says, "Happy Friday, Sean. I'm wondering how police might go about proving someone caused a collision because they were on their phone if the driver denies it." Well, that's a very good point, or a very good question. The answer is, I'm going right past the how old are you? I'll see if anybody made guesses in the chat. But to answer your question, Kyle, it has to be independent statements, dash cam. Other than that, an allegation of using your phone is really something that wouldn't come up, at least wouldn't lay charges on. I'd have to have a reasonable suspicion that it occurred, a belief that it occurred. And that would be, again, witness statements, dash cam. I love dash cams, and I love dash cams that have front and rear cameras because when someone plows into you from behind, for instance, you usually can see the wonderful glow of the phone on their faces, the fact that they are some high definition video. So that would be my answer to you. But very often there isn't sufficient evidence other than an allegation. But realistically, when someone says, "Oh, he was on my phone and he hit me," how do they know? They were driving and looking forward. If they were rear-ended, how would they know? So there's not a lot of weight. A lot of people make allegations. Doesn't always work out that it's sufficient to lay charges. There you go. All right. Let's see here. I can close this window. I can close that window. Good. Back to the Q&A. Does anybody have big plans for the weekend? Anything really exciting coming up? I know I've got a couple of things that I'm looking forward to. Most of them involve sleep. I just want to sleep. I just need some sleep. Yesterday was really strange. I got to work at 6 a.m. I was here all day. Then I was doing some other stuff while waiting for the Chiefs Gala to begin, it started at 6 o'clock, so we were running around. It was good. Okay. What is this? If someone's speeding, Ian. Lan? I don't know what this question is, Samir. What offense code is it for no taillights? For no taillights? Let's see. It's not an offense code. First of all, this is the Ontario Highway Traffic Act that I'm referring to. So if you're someone else, because we've never called it an offense code. I've never called it an offense code. But let's look at the section of the Highway Traffic Act for taillights. Is that what it's going to be under? No. Improper. We have to come back to it if I can't find it quickly. Improper license. No, that's not it. That's CMV equipment. Improper headlights. I believe it's just improper. Well, it's improper braking system. Windshield wiper. Where is it? It's got to be all in the same sort of area. And I can't find it easily, so we'll have to skip to it. There is an offense that covers it. So if you modify them, if they're not discernible at 150 meters, I believe, in any case, there's a charge. All right. We talked about this one. I don't know what the question is. And Kyle says, good points. What more would you say about dash cams? Would you recommend every driver have one? I do. I don't endorse a particular brand. I think anything is better than nothing. I will say that it should keep people honest, because the wonderful thing about dash cams is they collect everything. And when I grew up, I actually believed I was obligated by law to stop and help people, and if I witnessed something, to stay and give evidence. It isn't a requirement by law to stay and be a witness. However, no one does anymore. Like, really, nope. Everyone's so busy getting to where they're going. There's a few saints who do, and I appreciate them. But very often when I was investigating collisions, you didn't get people sticking around, because sometimes it's a long wait and they have somewhere to go, or they just don't care. One of the two. Or I'm sure there's other reasons. In any case, without independent witnesses, it's very hard to lay charges. There's the physical evidence, and there's usually two people who disagree. So based on, they cancel each other out. I did it, I didn't do it. Or he did it, I did it. Like, there's an argument. So how do you believe one over the other? You don't. If you can go based on the physical evidence, and you need the support of something else. And very often in today's day and age, we see video being that wonderful sway in a direction, or one way or another. But dash cams are magic, but they're also bad for the person who broke the law if it's their dash cam. And we very often have to seize dash cam footage to prevent it from being destroyed, because it loops. What is this? What if you drive with an expired 10-day permit? Well, if you drive with an expired 10-day permit, you don't have a permit, do you? It's expired. So you get charged for having driving with out of validated or active license plate, and you don't have a safety. The idea of a 10-day temporary is to go get safety. So if your vehicle is on the road and you don't have a safety and you don't have a 10-day permit, you're looking to get a number of charges and not drive away. You're likely getting towed. Okay. Samir's asking parts of questions. You were at my school. Oh my God. That's Gavin. Which school was that? I was at Centennial. I was at Humber. I've been to a number of places. Which place are you talking about? Tinto Tozy coming in from Montreal says, on my sister's car, the side marker light was hanging from her car. What are these lights for? She drives a Honda Civic. If you mean a side marker, like just a little amber light that's there, it's there to be pretty. I don't know. I don't know why they put extra ones, I guess, to just outline the vehicle. But I don't see many cars that have marker lights other than, additional signals, and that might be what that is, just to give more visibility when you're planning to signal. Because signaling is good and required by law. When are we getting digital driver's licenses? Because we need more headaches with more technology. No, I don't know when. They were supposed to have it by the end of last year, and it just never happened. There's a lot of issues when it comes to digitizing identity, and that is a security concern. So I'm glad that they're taking the time to make sure that it's done properly. But I'm sure it's coming. It's inevitable. Technology is here. Oh, Gavin says St. Mark. Yes, I was in Ottawa at St. Mark. In fact, I made a hot chocolate for my daughter this morning in a St. Mark mug that the principal gave me, or the guy principal gave me. So there you go. Very cool. What is this? Does pedestrian be totally out of walk before turn? Not sure. Not sure where you're going with this. Do you mean that, maybe you mean that does the pedestrian have to leave the crosswalk before you're able to turn? You have to yield to them. So they have to cross your area of road, and we like to say halfway when they're on the other side of the road, because you never know what they're going to do until they're completely out of your side of the road. Then you'd be safe to make your right turn on a red safely. You need to wait till they're off the road, because they have priority. When they're legally in the road, they have the right of way. Once they're already lawfully there, they obviously need to look both ways before they cross the road and ensure that they're not interfering with the movement of a motor vehicle, which doesn't always seem to be things we see. But anyway, let's see here. Someone says ride programs infringe on freedoms and rights. Yes, they do. And the courts have determined that they're allowable and reasonable for the protection of all. It's for the greater good. So yes, we give up some of our rights and freedoms to make sure that others don't kill people because of drinking and driving. And it's a very, very small price to pay for making sure the roads are safe. So if you don't like it, too bad. What do we have here? Okay, not going with that question, but I almost read it, so yeah. Can a limo with just a driver be in the HOV? I believe that licensed limousines and taxis are permitted to be in the HOV as solo occupants. They're part of that whole rideshare business, in that they're there to make people move faster, so they're given a priority. We can pull that up to verify. Let's have a look here. HOV lane, Ontario, requirements. I love Google. Google rocks. Just saying. Book of knowledge. We have a car, a van or light truck. Is this Ottawa? Let me make sure. Yeah, Ontario. Commercial truck less than 6.5 meters long with gross weight of 4,500 kilos or less. Vehicle towing. What is this? Let me see. That's not helping me. I want to know. So HOV lanes help encourage carpooling, manage congestion, reduce transportation-related emissions, optimize infrastructure investments. Who can use it? So if you have at least two people, a car, van, or light truck, commercial truck that is less than 6.5 meters long, with a gross weight not over 4,500 kilos, or a vehicle towing a trailer with a combined vehicle trailer length of less than 6.5 meters. That's if you have two passengers. However, the following can use them all the time, and that is buses of all types, licensed taxis and airport limousines, emergency vehicles, vehicles with Ontario Green license plates, motorcycles. So limos, if they're airport limos, yes. If they're just stretch, go to the club limos, apparently no, unless they're licensed as taxis or airport limousines. So, cool question, and thank you for asking it, because I've really never paid that much attention to the whole limo thing. I see cops using cell phones while driving all the time because they're legally entitled to. I mean, we're not looking to do it all the time, but police use cell phones as communication tools for police work, and as long as we're in the lawful execution of our duties, we're permitted to. There's an exemption under the Highway Traffic Act to specifically allow that use. It includes any user of a police vehicle. So parking enforcement officer, police officer, it's not specific to police officer, but it's because we use that communication for vital information. Officer safety related, public safety related. It is a thing, and it really bothers people because they want to be able to use it too. And guess what? In the event of an emergency where you are calling 911 for assistance, you can use it. You're permitted to pick up your phone and use it because we understand that in emergencies, emergency communication is required. Why somebody wants to ask about this stuff without acknowledging your question or specifically stating what you're asking, the answer is if it doesn't interfere with the ability to operate the vehicle, it's less of an issue. But I think careless driving would be most appropriate because it depends. You're driving while crowded. You shouldn't have a pet on your lap. You should pull people over for washed out license plates, and we do. If you have a peeling, faded license plate that is not legible, if it's covered, these are all things we pull people over for. Can MTO pull over for loud exhaust? Yes, they can. MTO has always had the ability under law to pull over and enforce under the HTA. However, they've had a policy for many years not to engage vehicles that were not commercial motor vehicles. However, that has changed. New director, and they have started doing it, which is great because we need as much help as we can to get all of the vehicles that are unsafe and creating that are violating the HTA off the road. So laying charges in that regard with more people is good. Can you use phone to call 911 if you're being followed? If you are in fear of your life, if you are believe that you are being followed, if you think that is an emergency, then the law says you can call 911. If you're misusing it, though, expect to be charged. Can you use your phone as a GPS while driving? Yes and no. And that is because you can look at the screen once it's in the mode, but you need to set it up into GPS mode before you start driving. You need to pick your address. You cannot touch the phone once you have started driving in GPS mode. That would become use, and use is illegal. It's a $615 fine, 3 demerit points, 3-day suspension, not a good day at the office. That's on your first conviction. It actually goes up to, I think, 7 days on the second. At any point, can transport trucks block 3 lanes of highway? Like one truck crossing across 3 lanes to block the road? That wouldn't be legal. What do you mean? Do you mean 3 trucks driving side by side at the speed limit? Is that legal? Yeah, it is. The speed limit's actually the speed limit, in case anyone was wondering. You can't actually go faster. Why do cops always have Ford Express as cars? I don't know what a Ford Express is. You mean Explorer? Maybe you meant Explorer. That's the vehicle we use as our primary vehicle. Can Uber use bus and backs? Can Uber cars use bus and taxi lanes? No, because they're not buses or taxis. You don't get the privilege of a bus and taxi if you're not a bus and taxi. JR, why do I hate the police so much? You probably dislike the police because we tell you what to do and you don't like being told what to do. It's probably your response to some issue that you've developed with authority. And I'm sorry that. Or maybe you had a bad experience and that just tainted your view on police. But police are here to help. We're just people helping people. And we tell you no a lot because the stuff we enforce is stuff that is in law. And if you don't want to follow the laws, you're in the wrong place. We have a lot of laws. Sorry. But hate, what a unfortunate situation that you're in if you hate the police. The people that are there to help, that you call when you need a hand. If you don't like them, it's really a problem. Who are you going to call if you don't call us? Okay. Someone wants to know, can you pass on a paved shoulder? Funny, you should ask that. Stick around to 11:05. We're going to be joining Jerry Ager on News Talk 1010 at 11 o'clock, or at 11:05. 11 o'clock we'll probably connect. 11:05 we'll actually be on the air with them talking about that very topic. So stick around. Stick around. I don't want to like ruin it. Talk about it now before. But yeah. Cool stuff. What's the consequences for illegal tints? Well, illegal tints are an interesting thing. There's different ways to be illegal. There's unsafe vehicle because it's so dark it's unsafe. We can't see in, you can't see out. It's a reduced visibility, and that includes the windshield and the windows left and right of the driver. You can't have anything on the windshield. You cannot have more than 30% light blockage in the windows left and right of the driver because if you do, it's an unsafe vehicle. We'll take your plates. You're off the road. If it's just that I can't see inside, I can't see if you're using a cell phone, I can't identify the driver, I can't make any eye contact because, heck, I can't see anybody. If I can't see if you're wearing your seatbelt, these are all things that would suggest that you have obscured the interior of your motor vehicle with a color coating, which being tint, or a reflective coating. Either one of those, we get you a $110 ticket, and that's an HTA violation. You would still be able to drive away if it was not over the 30%. But 30%, that's an unsafe vehicle, or over 30% unsafe. Can I take over someone going slowly, safely? What do you mean? Do you mean, can you pass a vehicle? If someone's going under the speed limit, can you pass? Are you asking if you can pass on the left or on the right, or what's the? You need to give me more, because take over is a interesting way of wording it, so I don't know what you mean. We have a Freeman of the Land person trying to talk about stuff. No. Sorry, it doesn't fly. It's all fiction. I know that bothers you, but it's true. I don't know where you get your stuff. Does my criminal record get wiped after 18? No. Your juvenile record can get sealed, but it's not gone. There's a few questions on volley. Well, thank you for letting me know. And they're all in print. Send me voice messages. It's so much cooler to be able to play your question loud, like for everyone to hear. So, Jay says, are exhaust laws provincial or a municipal bylaw? Excellent question. No one's ever asked it that way. Both. There are provincial HTA-related regulations, and there are bylaws that can be written in addition to. So Toronto has that. We have a 92 decibel idle law for motorcycles in Toronto. $500 ticket for having a motorcycle specifically, that idles at 92 decibels or more. Or is it 93? Yeah, over 92 decibels. In any case, if you're loud at idle, it's a problem. You get a ticket. It's $500, and that's bylaw, municipal. But unnecessary noise from a motor vehicle is HTA, and that's provincial-wide. Province-wide. What else we got? Can you touch your actual GPS while driving then? Dan Hills wants to know. Oddly enough, it's not a handheld communication device, as long as it's not. So an actual GPS manufactured as a GPS you could touch. Now, if you ended up getting into a collision or weaving all over the road while you were trying to enter a destination, that's still careless driving, so you're still eligible for a charge. However, it's not falling under the HT offense of distracted driving, because that is specific to a handheld communication device, handheld entertainment device, or screen visible to user for one of those things. And just on the exhaust thing, Neon says 74 decibels, 92 decibels. Okay. Jace wants to know, is the OPP the same as the RCMP? No, it is not. The OPP is a provincial police. That's Ontario Provincial Police. The RCMP is federal police, and it's across Canada. Now, they share responsibilities. Some places don't have a provincial police that I'm aware of, or I'm assuming, because the RCMP is funny. In some areas, they are provincial, they are municipal, as well as federal. They handle all aspects of policing for certain areas. So they're them. And then we're municipal police. Toronto Police is municipal. We handle it, but we're all police officers, all working for the same goals. Mute. Yeah, this Freeman stuff that people are trying to pitch, saying some people are trying to sell you an idea that you don't need a license to travel in a motor vehicle because you're traveling. Baloney. It's baloney. That'll probably upset them, but it's baloney. They still get charged. Many people arrested for trying to do what they do. And if you're ever interested in watching a whole bunch of arguing with police that ends up with them getting charged anyway, check out Freeman of the Land stuff. You'll be entertained for hours. Can you explain how red light cameras work? Well, yes, sort of, kind of, yeah, I can a bit. We're losing the FriYAY vibe. Just saying. We've gotten all serious, and I don't want serious stuff for Friday. It's supposed to be happy, joy. So can you explain how red light cameras work? Here's the deal. If you don't stop for a red light, you get a photo taken of you going through that red light, and then they charge you. And there's no points related to that charge because it's a specific section specific to the cameras for enforcement. Different charge than if a police officer laid it. Police officer, you run a red light in front of us, we charge you $325 and demerit points get added, and it's a whole bunch of things that's against the driver. Red light camera, however, is specific to the vehicle owner. They're responsible for it. So it doesn't matter who's driving the car, the vehicle owner gets a wonderful ticket in the mail. If you want to know the mechanics of how it works, I don't know if I want to tell you. And I mean that with the nicest of ways, but no one needs to know. They just need to stop for red lights. And knowing how it works is just, generally a way to try and figure out how to get away with doing something. And I don't want to promote that. Not trying to be mean or nothing. What is this? He's going under the speed limit on the left lane. Well, if you're doing less than the speed limit, you should really not be in the left lane. Camping out in the left lane is not cool. However, if you're doing the speed limit, I don't see any issue with that because the only people who are upset by that are violators, lawbreakers, people who are choosing to speed and make the roads unsafe. So if they're complaining, I really don't care. Sorry. Speeders should not be on our roads. What is the decibel limit for how loud your exhaust should be? Well, according to Neon, who's a mechanic, it says 74 decibels. At idle, I'm assuming. But the truth is that any exhaust could create unnecessary noise, and under the Highway Traffic Act, we don't measure a decibel rating to lay that charge. It just doesn't matter. What do we got here? Big Jeff Fresh says, I would argue that if your foot is on the pedals and hands on the wheel, that classifies as operation and not just travel. And Jeff, I think you're onto something there, but I don't think they'll care because they'll have a binder full of laminated sheets of fiction that they're handing out. I don't know, is it like from 1812, the law said, yeah, whatever. Why? Someone wants to know if Drake has influence on the TPS. I don't know why people think that, but no. He's not on our police services board. He isn't the chief. He's someone that might get pulled over now and again. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway. Ontario needs an Autobahn is the least true statement ever spoken. We don't need an Autobahn. The Autobahn, actually, unless you're talking about a hyper enforced road, because the Autobahn in areas that are populated has a speed limit range of 80 to 130 and lots of cameras and police officers to enforce those rules. You go over, you're getting a ticket. Now, in the unpopulated stretches where there is no speed limit, yeah, collisions happen. And they have incredibly large debris fields because Lamborghinis and Porsches and fast cars, when they hit things and crash, and they do that, they throw parts everywhere. They're designed to go fast, but not to smash up. Bad things happen. Tinto Tozy says, don't forget, everyone, to have your winter tires installed. I like winter tires. I'm looking to buy a new pair of winter tires because mine need to be replaced. But it's not a requirement in Ontario. And Tinto Tozy is actually from Montreal, where it is, because in Quebec it's actually a legal requirement. Coffee time. Original vehicle registration or the printed copy. So you can have a photocopy of the original, but it must be both sides, which is considered a true copy, and that is sufficient under law. Original copy I would never leave in your vehicle. In fact, my copy is in my wallet. I don't leave anything with that has my name in it. I don't even want to leave mail in my car, because if someone breaks in, they then know more about you than they did 5 minutes before, and I don't want that. So a printed copy or a photocopy is sufficient and meets the requirement when your demand is police. Oh, is people spamming? Q says spam is for sandwiches, not for chat. Yeah, once in a while we get lots of spam. Yes, people. Tracy says people stop spamming or leave. Well, that's just telling them that they're being very effective. Trolls like to be acknowledged, so it's better just to not acknowledge them because they're silly. Oh, Mikey is making allegations, so we'll just say goodbye to Mikey. From what time to what time is your shift? I work Monday to Friday from 6 to 2. That is not always my thing, but it's primarily my work schedule. And the reason for that is I am not on the road on shift work. But shift work is a totally different situation. Is Oshawa toll free? Like to call Oshawa? I think all of Toronto and GTA is toll free. I haven't paid long distance fees in like 20 years. Oh, yes, I did see that. Akela sent me an icon of spam, a can of spam that I should use to identify the spam. Watching a game on a phone while driving is the epitome of against the law. That's totally not legal. Let's see here. Somebody wants to know, how does it work? How does what work? It might have been, these questions don't come through in any particular order sometimes. Your best story as a police officer. There's a ton of them, and I don't know. I don't know what I would share. And bless you, Aaron, from the chat. Let's see here. Don't know what that is. We'll remove that. Timers and pedestrians using drivers traffic. What is this? Timers and pedestrian using driver traffic lights. I don't know what you're asking me there. Do you mean like the countdown timer for pedestrians? That's to allow people when they're in the intersection to know how much time they have left to get out. It is not a countdown timer to say how much time you still have to enter. You should not be entering on a countdown. Getting in highway with 50 to 60 kilometers is an offense. Are you asking me or telling me? You need to merge at a safe rate. You need to get up to speed to highway speeds. Otherwise, you might be causing a hazard and making an unsafe lane change and doing all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, you're not allowed to speed. No one is. Well, not unless you're police, fire, or ambulance with a lawful reason to. How fast can police cars go with lights on? As fast as they need to. How would you judge if subwoofers are too loud? If I am hearing them and I'm not in your car, I might think they're too loud. If your music shouldn't be, filling the streets. So if you're making noise and everyone can hear it, and they're not sitting in the car with you, I'm going to say that's probably too loud, and I would charge you with unnecessary loud noise. Now, if it's just that I hear it, not a big deal. But if I feel it, if it's taking over, the world, that's a different story. Apparently, there's some static on TikTok. We're going to have to iron out some audio situations. We're not sure what's going on. If someone has a mugshot, how would you get the pic? By looking it up. We have access to information like that. All computer-y stuff. Have you ever been in a high-speed chase? No, but I've been in a really slow-speed chase. Like, really slow. Impaired drivers are interesting. Back windshield covered with snow is illegal. Depends on your mirror situation. Now, from the perspective of view, it could be illegal. If your mirrors aren't functioning on the side, then you would require the rear view mirror on your windshield to be giving you a clear view to the rear, and that could be a ticket. But failing to clear the snow, there's no Highway Traffic Act charge. However, insecure load, not clearing the snow off the top, I think insecure load is a very good charge, and that's something you could take to court and argue. But if you don't clear your snow, you're choosing to transport what fell from the sky, and that can come loose and hit a car. It could be icy, it could damage somebody else's vehicle, and of course, it obstructs your view. And I just heard a beep, 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 which means we are being joined by our friends from News Talk. Hello. Can you hear us? I don't hear you guys yet. News Talk is... Oh, here we go.
Sean Shapiro was in the middle of doing one of his...
We're just in the middle of it now.
So when he joins us to talk about this issue, it'll be part of his TikTok stream.
All right.
It just means we're connecting with the same way we always do.
Let him know that I am going to do a question first before I come.
I'm just keeping that low.
Or should I just go straight to him? Because
Okay, we're just having some background chat.
Yeah, go
Background
straight
chatter
to
before we go, so I'm going to turn it down so you're not listening to their private conversation.
Ah, shit. Where's my remote?
Okay. Let me know when you're ready, guys. We are live and you're with us. We have a couple of seconds to just pull something up. I want to pull something up on my screen. Where is it? There we go. Okay, let's turn that on. Give me a Donnie or whomever's back there, just send me a private chat on the screen when you're ready to go. So joining me now, or I'll be joining, we're joining each other really. It's Jerry Ager on News Talk 1010. We're going to be talking about a news story, something that has got him
Literally given
thinking about stuff.
2 years. They've been. I just want that face-to-face interaction with teachers.
We do want to. So it's not a regular segment where we take questions. This is specifically talking about a news story. So we're doing something. Prince Doty has some opinions about police suggesting they lie. I can't help you. Why did you become a TPS officer and not York Regional Police or Peel? Well, actually, I did apply to York when I was 18, like 18 in a day, and I wasn't ready to be a police officer, but I went through the process to see what was up, and ultimately, Toronto Police is where I applied years later. I was 25 when I started, and I applied as a court officer and as auxiliary officer. There was actually a hiring freeze, but I determined that TPS is where I wanted to be, and I'm very happy that I came here. If you are interested in becoming a police officer, let you know now that we are hiring, www.tps.ca/careers, and you can become one of us. And it's not just police officer jobs that we're hiring for, but we are on a push for specifically police officers, and you can get into an information session. Actually, no, it's not an information session. It is an Ontario Police Services recruitment fair, and it's police services from across Ontario who are going to be there. It's being held on the 26th of November. It is at the Toronto Police College, and you need to register. The registration was originally cut off on the 16th, but they decided to extend by 2 days. I believe it's today and tomorrow. You'll still be able to register. The website should be live, so go and do that if you are interested. Because if you don't, you're missing out on an opportunity to speak to people who want to hire you. Is snow blocking the plate illegal? Yes, obstructing a plate is illegal. Now, if it's fresh snow that's just fallen while you're driving, which probably isn't happening, but maybe packed debris from the road, if it's fresh, no one's going to give you a hard time. If it is something where it's hard packed and you just didn't clear it, expect a ticket, $110. Okay, we are 30 seconds away, so I got the mic up, I got everything going. We should be good to go for News Talk whenever they're ready. So when I ignore y'all, that's why. We're going to be talking to Jerry Agar, News Talk 1010, about some stuff and things. Oh, quick one here. Do tickets ever make car insurance go up? Yeah, even minor tickets, even tickets with no points. If you show yourself to be a high-risk driver, you should see your insurance rates go up. All right. Cool beans. Hey, if you're watching us and you don't know,
listen anytime, anywhere to News Talk 1010 Toronto through your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Jerry Agar continues.
Pretty fascinating policing and traffic story that we have here. It's reported by CTV News out of Ottawa, and I'm going to join in with the TikTok traffic cop, Sean Shapiro, as his broadcast on TikTok is underway to go through this story. Sean Shapiro, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. I'm getting a little feedback of myself on this thing. I don't know.
Oh, are you? Let me make sure that we have this set. Try now.
Okay.
No. If we're getting some loop back, we got some new technology that might be giving us some hard time. So I apologize if you're getting that.
Well, we're going to forge on and do our best here. All right. Okay. Why don't we? Wow, that is kind of irritating.
My apologies. We'll get it worked out.
All right. Let me do this. Is there something where we can turn something off while I explain this? And then, okay, so I'll explain the thing, and then we're going to get Sean Shapiro's feedback on this. But here's what happened. I'm going to thumbnail it. Guy's driving down the road. It's a 2-lane paved road with a paved shoulder. And the individual in the middle of this, Matt Begzinski, is, and you can see video of it in the CTV report. He has a dash cam. He's driving down the road. There's a vehicle in front of him. The vehicle in front indicates a left turn coming up to an intersection, turns on the left turn signal light, and begins to slow down. Matt Baczynski goes off to the right onto the paved shoulder and passes the vehicle. Is that legal or illegal? Okay, that's first. Next, the car behind turns off the signal light, abandons the idea of turning left at the intersection, follows Matt Baczynski and is flashing the lights, and when they get to a red light, pulls up beside him, starts yelling at him that he has just broken the law, dangerous driving by passing on the right like that, and announces, "I'm an off-duty cop, and I'm coming to your house later on tonight to give you a ticket." The police officer does show up later that night.
Hi, sir. How are you? Constable, good on the police service. We met today on the side of the road. I told you that I'd be by tonight to issue you with 2 different tickets. Okay, my badge number is 2293. This patrol officer is with me tonight, as he will be serving you separately. I understand that you're recording. That is great. That is your right. Okay? Again, I'm Constable Good, the Ottawa Police Service. My badge number is 2293 for the record. Okay? You're being charged tonight with 1, careless driving. You have 15 days to deal with the ticket. Careless driving.
Excuse me.
Yeah, leave it here for you. You have 15 days to deal with the ticket and 3 options on the back of the
Tell
ticket.
me how it's considered careless driving.
Second incident, your vehicle is also not registered anymore. So drive motor vehicle not currently validated permit. Okay, you need to get that done as soon as possible.
Permit expired June 2nd, 2000.
All right, so it's on Matt that he didn't update his license tags. A lot of people are forgetting to do that now that we have this situation where you don't have to get a new sticker, but still you have to do the update of registration of your vehicle. He didn't do that. I'm not defending him on that, but he got a couple of tickets totaling $600. And Sean Shapiro, I was surprised to learn, it is not illegal to pass someone who is turning left, and you can pass on the right on a paved shoulder, correct?
Yes and no. They have to be immediately making a turn or stopped waiting to make that turn. It's not that this particular vehicle, based on the video that I watched, passed a vehicle that was traveling at, based on his own admission, about 60 or 65 kilometers an hour on the shoulder. And based on my estimation, about 150 meters from the turn ahead, they actually made it to the corner before the vehicle that was planning on turning did. So in this situation, they absolutely qualify for careless driving. You're not permitted to pass on a shoulder in that scenario. So if you came up to a vehicle that was stopped waiting to make a turn or was in the process of turning, then you could go by slowly on the shoulder. But it's not a lane for active travel.
Okay, so I misunderstood, perhaps, because here's what it says in the driver's handbook for Ontario. You may drive on the right shoulder only to pass a vehicle turning left, and only if the shoulder is paved. You may not pass on the left shoulder, paved or not. That doesn't say anything about speed or proximity to the intersection.
True. And if you look at the Highway Traffic Act offense of pass on right, not in safety, it talks about a vehicle turning or about to make a turn. It doesn't include that would be if you signaled 2 miles away from a turn, someone could pass you on the right. That's not the case. So the driver's handbook isn't specific there. That you're reading from, and even the charge itself doesn't specify that the vehicle has to be stopped. but it has to be the concept of safety and traveling on a shoulder at speeds that in that particular video we only saw as the vehicle came out. We don't know how fast he was going as he approached the vehicle in front of him. We don't know much else, but just going on the video alone, he's exceeding that speed by a good march to be able to pass him, and it's on the shoulder, which is not a lane for travel. Passing could be at 5 kilometers an hour, 10 kilometers an hour, not 65 and 75 or 85.
Shapiro is with us, the TikTok traffic cop, and this is everything that you're saying, Sean, sounds sensible, but I didn't read that when I looked at and this is why people have trouble understanding what the laws are, because I thought, well, this sounds ridiculous that he thinks he was in the right, and I think the cop has him on this one. Then I looked at the handbook and changed my mind, and now I'm listening to you, and what you're saying sounds sensible. It can be confusing out there for ordinary people.
Absolutely. And it's one of the reasons we do what we do on TikTok and other social media platforms is we want to make sure that everyone understands it and that it's interpreted for them, because Googling it is great, but it leaves out that other layer of explanation. And the officer would lay this charge, and if a court doesn't agree with him, that's going to be a triable matter. The officer is going to obviously make a case as to why it was unsafe, what their observations were, and based on that, I don't think this person's got a very good defense. But you never know what's going to happen in court. But something to mention is that any police officer is a police officer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until they resign or retire. So they're fully within their abilities to lay charges based on information that they observe or that is provided to them, as long as they can make up certain or provide certain pieces of information in order to lay a charge.
I can see where it would be somewhat disturbing to have somebody pull up next to you in what is starting to appear to be an incident of road rage, and the guy starts yelling at you. He claims he's a cop, which there's no way to know at that point, not in a squad car, not in a uniform, off-duty cop who says, but I'll tell you what, Buster, I'm paraphrasing here, I'll tell you what, Buster, I'll be in my uniform later on tonight and coming around to your house. I mean, it's like a threat.
Well, what he did is and you could hear him on that clip. He says, "I'm a police officer off duty with Ottawa Police," and he made a couple other statements. He said, "I'm going to be coming to your house," and beyond, he didn't do anything wrong. I don't know if he identified with a badge or if it was just verbal, but I have communicated with people in the same manner in the past for things that were absolutely horrible, or I've called a car to come over and pull over right then and there.
Now, see, somebody is just writing in. Ross from Mississauga writes, the cop has no proof he was passing him at that speed. Actually, there's a fair amount of proof here, Sean, because the guy himself, Matt, the citizen, is providing some of the evidence against himself, as it turns out, because we have the dash cam video from him.
And additionally, you've got the police officer who's going to give testimony. He doesn't have to have a radar device going. He doesn't have to have some other means of measurement. He's in a vehicle that's traveling at a speed, and he can provide evidence saying that the vehicle was overtaking me, and I know how fast I was going.
Somebody just wrote in and said, should I go to law school?
Who should go? Should we all go?
No, the person is asking. Yeah, it feels like I think the issue here, based on what you're telling us, Sean, I could see where the court might say, no, what you did was inappropriate. You were at speed on that shoulder, and that's not safe, and you're going to have to pay the fine and take the demerit points. I could understand that. This guy, Matt, is saying, well, I do it all the time. So he thought that he was in the right. I don't know if a judge will take that into consideration.
Thinking that you're in the right isn't really a defense. And the ultimate thing here is a lot of the language in these makes statements like not in safety. Well, okay, you can do it, but when it's not safe, it's not safe. Really, at that point, there's a lot of room for interpretation, and the officer will ultimately have to make and articulate to court as to why it wasn't. It's not hard to explain why something isn't safe.
Yeah. Well, certainly the video shows that the driver passed that other vehicle well ahead of the intersection and certainly at significant speed. So, as always, appreciate your feedback here. Sean Shapiro is on TikTok at Traffic Services, talking with people about traffic issues and from time to time with us. Have a good weekend, Sean. Thanks very much.
All the best.
This is the iHeartRadio Talk Network.
Always a blast to talk to Jerry. We have used the time we have available.
It's 11:15. News Talk 1010 time saver.
In studio to chat about stuff and things. So have a wonderful weekend. Drive sober. Park legally. Be safe, because we want you to be back on Monday to talk to us again. But we have tons and tons of questions that we didn't get to, and I apologize, we can never get to everybody. It is always our goal, never really works out that way. But what you can do is ask us questions in our volley group. It is a group you can ask questions all the time, lots of people in there, and if I'm not there to answer, somebody else will, and then I'll weigh in eventually, because that's usually how it goes. Of course, follow us if you don't follow us, but come back and spend some time with us. And I apologize to the folks on that are watching on Instagram. I realize you didn't hear anything that was going on the other side with Jerry because you're not plugged in. We had to make some last-minute changes. We're messing around with new equipment here, so I apologize that that didn't work. Oh, great! Oh, Fishing Rookie was listening on News Talk 1010, so that's awesome. Thank you very much. Again, I say have a great weekend, and we will be back on Monday. Are we back on Monday? What day is it, Monday? Let me make sure that Monday is the day that I'm actually here, because there's a lot of things happening in the next couple. Yeah, we are back on Monday. Fantastic. All right. That's it. I'm pressing a button. It's the music that's pre-programmed in this board. I think it's funky. This doesn't count as this is just bopping along. This isn't dancing. I'm just going to tell you right now, this is not dancing.